Hey everyone, and welcome back to another week of small groups. I'm so excited for another week of places and promises, but also for the journey we've been on through Beyond and all the strength that it's brought, not just in our church, but in our small groups and just talking and the relationships together. I hope you also had a great spring break. Maybe you did something fun. Maybe you stayed at home. Me and Haley went to Wichita Falls. And I know you're wondering to yourself why in the world we would go to Wichita Falls. But the answer is the world's smallest skyscraper is there. It's very interesting. Other than that, I would say there's no really good reason to go to Wichita Falls. Me and Haley just like getting away to new places. There are two good places to eat that we found down there. So if you're looking for good food in the Wichita Falls area, I think me and Haley got you covered. This Sunday, Pastor Jordan continued in our Places and Promises series. He talked about the place of the temple, which is ultimately tied to the promise that our body is now the temple. Our body is a place where the Holy Spirit dwells. He talked about really in Jesus' day, the temple was a place where only everyone could come into the outside of the temple. But as you got closer and closer to the center, as you got closer and closer to the presence of God, more people were restricted from going closer, whether it be women and children, whether it be the Jews, whether it be only the priesthood. There's all these different restrictions keeping people from getting closer to the presence of God. And we see in Luke that Jesus tore the curtain down. And the curtain was the thing that separated the Holy of Holies, which was where they believed that God's presence dwelled, split it in two. And what that means for us is that God wasn't going to have his presence set in this one place. It wasn't going to be set in a temple in the very center where only one person could go one time a year, but it would be a place or a thing that's available to all people, that's open for everyone. Really, the two biggest things that we see from the message on Sunday is that God cares about what's in his temple and that God cares about who's in his temple. And man, I'm thankful that our God is an everyone God. He doesn't care where you've been, what you've been through, but he is accepting to you and meeting you right where you're at and taking you on a journey with him. Man, I think we're all lucky to live in this day and age. And even just in the culture that we're in, that when we want to get close to God's presence, we don't have to come to church. Like, that's a great place to feel God's presence because we're around a bunch of people that believe in the same thing. But as much as God's presence is available in the church, man, God's presence is available at home when you're alone. God's presence is available at your workplace. God's presence is available when you're taking a hike with your family. God's presence is available to you because the Holy Spirit dwells in our body. We are the temple for the Holy Spirit. So I got a few questions for you to discuss this week during small groups. The first is this. In 1 Corinthians, it says that your body is a temple to the Holy Spirit. What does this mean to you? Number two, God cares about what's in his temple, but now our body is the temple. Are there some things that Jesus would have removed from your body or from your heart? Now be honest and open with this. I know this is a hard question, a vulnerable question, but let's put it out there. Number three, talk about a time when you felt God's presence at a random moment. I remember times when I've just been working and just suddenly feel the presence, and I don't care who's around or what's going on, but I'll be singing as loud as I can sing. It's just it's an awesome moment when you're outside of the church and you feel God's presence. It's such a special moment. And so take some time to talk about these things. Be open, be honest. No judgment is going to be in your small group. And so we just thank you for joining us this week. We hope that you have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday here at Faith Church.